Hello everybody, this video is to show you how the new feature of dataflow works, which is assign records based on conditions. I also like to call it smart assign. So let's say I have a request form and two query forms on my iPad, and I'm going to submit a record in the request form, and it will return all the data that matches the values I filled in the query forms. So in the request form, I have a start date and end date. And if I want to return all the data that falls in this date filter, this date range, I just need to select use date filter. And if I don't want to use the date filter, the lookup table will be based on any other field I fill in. So here's a quick demo. First, I'm going to select a start date and end date and use the date filter. And I'm going to give a city name as well and submit the record. So after this record will sync to the cloud, it will look up all the records in the other two forms and see if there's anything that matches. Now I'm going to resync my device and see. So it seems like there's one record that matches. In query form 2, there's one record that has the check date that's in between the start date and end date. So this looks good. And now I'm going to select not use date filter. But I'm still going to give a start date and end date. Not use date filter, and let's use the inspector name, my own name, and pass yes, and done. Syncing the device, uploading the data. You can see there are new records assigned to me. And seems like there are two records that matches. We'll go ahead and have a look. The first record, it has inspector name as Penny and pass-fail as yes. And the second record, it has the inspector name as Penny and pass-fail as yes. So this one looks good too. So this is pretty much how it works on the form side. And next I'm going to walk through briefly how I made it happen behind the scene. This is the data flow I used. And after this main record set that receives all the data from the request form, I used a filter to split the data into two buckets. One is use date filter. And then in assign to action, I just hard coded the grammar here. And at the bottom of this data flow, if I don't use date filter, I created another record set to create a dynamic grammar to be used in the assign to action. Here is some transformation code, and then in the assign to action, I called my grammar. This is a dynamic grammar. So we used to write PHP file to do the same thing, and this is the file we've been using, and now it only takes a data flow to make all this happen. So if you're interested, play around.